Welcome back, everyone, to Light Talk, where everyday people can share their own unique experiences in the metaphysical world. If you'd have your own stories, own unique stories, please contact me at lighttalk423@gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons down below. Well, today I have a very special guest. She is fantastic, but I'm going to let her introduce herself and then she'll start telling you about her excellent stories. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sue Walker and I'm from the Albuquerque, New Mexico area now. And I have a unique situation here in that almost 10 years ago, well, actually more than 10 years ago, it was September of 13. So this September, it makes it 11 years ago. Out of the blue, we were contacted by an extraterrestrial individual who worked out of a facility beneath the Sandia Mountain on the eastern edge of Albuquerque. Now, when I came down, I had no idea that there had been, according to the Native American Pueblo peoples in this area, a facility, but this individual started talking to me and introducing us to his culture, and we began learning about the Ponti of Zeta Reticuli. So I started translating for this gentleman. First, we didn't know his name, and so we nicknamed him Sandia because his voice came from beneath the Sandia Mountain. And his real name, we learned later, was Tilcum. Since then, we have a Twitter account, a book called Inviting ET about CE5s, an understanding of the relationship between our Zeta Reticuli friends, the Ponti and the Sasquatch, and more and more and more. I cannot even begin to tell you how many things we've learned in the last decade. It just drops our jaw. So that's me. Along with that, I am an artist. I wasn't before all this started, but it was requested that I begin to draw again for the first time in 40 years, and that started in 2016. And now behind me, you see pictures of our extraterrestrial friends all over my new studio walls. And Dana has been here to the studio, and I think she kind of walked in and her jaw dropped a little bit, and she just kind of went, oh.
They are fantastic. And I've heard stories of Telcom and a lot of your other friends, and I just love them already. And I haven't been able to speak with them or anything yet, but oh my goodness, they're just so cute and adorable.
And the unique thing here, Dana, is that my spouse, Otter, and I are not the only ones getting visits from these individuals. They travel around the world to visit people who invite them, but they're a telepathic species. And so one of the first things they did was translate a beginner's manual that helps individuals start from where they are right now and improve their telepathic skill set. And in addition to that, they also taught us the protocols for contact, which we had no idea about. We had a genuine opportunity to learn from the Ponti about their culture, not just their technology, not just how advanced they were, but what they were like as a people, because there was more than one individual working underneath the Sandia Mountain. And we've come to know about 24 of them now, male and female. And I think the thing that surprised us the most was their humor. We had no idea what kind of humor an extraterrestrial has, because they're never portrayed that way in the movies, ever. Yeah, they're always male and monsters, and we got to know the gals and the guys and their humor and their history and their celebration things and what they do to get all dressed up and what their music is like and how, whether they like to dance and can any of them talk. I mean, we on and on and on. It's been amazing, just amazing.
Yeah, and the stories I've heard about them, it is pretty hilarious. They are such wonderful creatures, or I shouldn't say creatures, beings. They're just
Yes.
fantastic beings, and they're just, I'm speechless with the stories I've heard of them.
If
They're
any of
fantastic.
your listeners are interested in seeing what they look like or learning more about them, you've got several resources as well as the free telepathy manual that we translated for them. And so they have a website. It's very easy. It's officialfirstcontact.com. And so you can go there and learn all kinds of things about them. There's some community pages and a chat room, but there are pictures of them. And then on my YouTube channel, it's the same name as the @Sandia Wisdom Twitter account. So Sandia Wisdom, the YouTube channel, has all kinds of pictures that you see behind me on the wall of our ET friends, of Sasquatch, of some of the other art that I do, et cetera, et cetera. Believe it or not, I have never taken an art class until the Ponte assigned me an extraterrestrial art teacher. And her name is Mim, and she puts me through my paces. She really does. So I've learned a lot.
Yeah, she's
So
always there helping you out with strokes and colors and
and hue
all.
and intensity and different
Yeah,
kinds of patterns and how to get more detailed, more accurate, and more photorealistic. So I was a little hesitant when they asked me to start drawing them and drawing other star nations that are allies to the Ponte. And I said, I don't want to get this wrong. This is too important. And so that's when they assigned me an art teacher and then have expanded my skills. Recently, they have asked me to start drawing other earth animals so that I get used to what does reptilian skin look like? What do amphibian eyes look like? How do feathers lay? How does long hair grow on manes and around necks and on faces? I have learned a great deal about Sasquatch by drawing them because our friends, our ET friends, are allies to the Sasquatch. And the two nations get along very, very well, actually. I'm going to grab my cord here. I apologize, but my computer just gave me a low battery light. And I'm going, oh, please don't do that. So I'm going to quick plug this in as we talk. The things that I've learned about the Sasquatch, and there's a fairly decent population here in New Mexico in the mountains. And we are at the very, very southern end of the Rocky Mountain chain. And just about an hour north of us is an ancient supervolcano called the Valles Caldera. And it's dormant now. There are still hot springs in the area that tell us that there's still flowing magma underneath. Mm-hmm. But the entire bowl of the caldera is now one surrounded by mountains and is just gorgeous. And I was just up there last week with a visitor from Canada, and we have come to know the clan that lives in that area. They venture down to the Sandia Mountain on occasion, but we've gotten to know their standards and some of their culture as well, which has been just fascinating. And so I had not realized when I started this translation with Commander Teal'c that they were friends with the Sasquatch at all. And in fact, it was Commander Teal'c that requested us to go to the very first Sasquatch conference that we've ever gone to teach the telepathy manual that we translated, because the Sasquatch researchers need to understand how to improve their own telepathic skill set also, because the Sasquatch nations on our planet are telepathic as well as verbal. So,
Wow. And that's really interesting to hear that they are able to communicate, because I haven't heard too much of them actually communicating with us in verbal. With Sasquatch.
We know that their language is complicated and they talk twice as fast as we do, because they talk not only on the breath out, on the exhalation, but they also talk on the breath in. And so when they're chattering with one another, it's a fast-paced language that we have recorded, as well as huge lung capacity, which is a very obvious when you hear them get loud and vocal, but also the speed at which they chatter and talk with one another is a little bit amazing. There are just a couple of places where researchers around the world have learned that the Sasquatch will borrow local words. And so if you live in North America, you may borrow English words. If you live at this end of the Rocky Mountain chain, you may borrow some Spanish words. If you live up in Ontario, Quebec area, you may borrow some French words. The Highland Sasquatch above 9,000 feet live a little differently than the lowland Sasquatch that live more at sea level, who also live differently than the swamp or southern Cajun, Louisiana, bayou area. Those Sasquatch in Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana live differently yet, because of the environment that they're from. What they told us is that anywhere that you have an adequate food supply, abundant water, shelter capabilities, if it's limestone caves, if it's underground facilities and tunnels. Here in New Mexico, it's volcanic lava tubes. But anywhere where they have those things available, you'll find the Sasquatch. But in particular, if the land, the soil, or the water is high in sulfur, they need that to keep their immune systems healthy.
So with the sulfur, so they're able to live off the waters of even the ocean waters or lake water, or
they still need fresh water like we do.
Okay.
They can swim. Most Sasquatch can go swim underwater great distances. And they actually, in the hot summertime, enjoy swimming because it keeps them cooler.
Cool.
Yeah. And then it's not unusual that you see them in summer smear mud on their hair. It's hair, not fur, just like the hair that we have on our head. Some of the Sasquatch have longer hair on their head and shorter on their bodies. Some of them have the same length all over. We have seen short-haired Sasquatch, medium-haired Sasquatch, longer, shaggier-haired Sasquatch, and then Sasquatch who essentially have a mane or a full head of hair that is so much that they will roll it like in dreadlocks or braid it We've seen both.
Oh, wow.
Or slick it back with mud. The mud helps keep the mosquitoes at bay. Most common skin color is charcoal gray. And we have seen absolutely black skin and black hair with black nails and very dark eyes. Boy, those are not easy to draw, let me tell you. But then here in New Mexico, you'll see a reddish brown with some blonde highlights. We have seen them also gray. The males can take on a coloration and gray along their backside like a silverback gorilla does. That's not unusual. And so the clans here in the Rocky Mountain chain tend to be matriarchal, with the oldest female having the greatest say, and it's the oldest female that tells the males what to do. So she's in charge and they follow through with her commands, is how it normally works. But they tend to honor the elders.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's a good thing to know and to have in a society, is to respect the elders.
Mm-hmm. We had no idea that the Ponti were such good friends. And when we asked about that, they said, well, first of all, they share a similar sense of humor. And that also was a delight to hear. The Sasquatch can tease and prank one another just like our, youngsters do. And the Ponti prank them right back. And so it is not unheard of that the Ponti will bring them things like pizza or things that they can't get very easily and party down with them in the high altitude countries, above 9,000 feet. So they tend to hang out where people are not, and we've learned a lot about their building structures, both in wood as well as stone and boulders. We are learning about their art and what kind of art they create. We're learning, but have not yet translated, their stick glyph language. But all of what we know now is corroborated with researchers that are out in the field. We learned our information from the Ponti and then got it validated later. And so that was a great joy. The Ponti themselves, of all the star nations we have gotten, I've heard on Earth here, they have been a delightful nation to learn from and learn about, and to help us understand how the Federation and the other star nations are prepping for Earth's official first contact because of the state of our star and all of the changes it's about to go through, as well as our planet's geomagnetics. And so the Ponti talked to us a great deal about all of those changes coming and that they're here to help. So I'm chattering a lot. What kind of questions do you have?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah, I'm always just so impressed and so just in awe with all my guests. It's just, I could let you guys talk forever and ever and ever. One question that kind of came up to mind is, when the Sasquatch get older, like us humans, we get older, we start turning gray in our hair. Mm-hmm. Are they the same way, or do they keep their color all the way? Okay.
Nope. I have seen the gals age from like an auburn reddish brown color into a salt and pepper gray. There's an old man Sasquatch that travels around the Sandia Mountain, and He has darker hair that's become lighter and lighter and almost my white color in patches. And so, yes, the alpha males tend to have that silverback pattern, as well
Okay.
as become gray in the face, in the beard, in the mustache, first at the temples first, just like we do.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and they do get male pattern baldness.
Okay.
We have photos of Sasquatch who have hair starting about here instead of here. Not all of
That's
them have hair on their faces. A lot of them have hair around the edges, and not all of them even have mustaches. So it really depends. There's as much variation in the Sasquatch nations as there is in our human population.
yeah. And I can
So,
see that one. I can see that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I had a question. I spaced it, but
It's okay.
yeah. Oh, I was looking at your pictures of the back. That's what it was. It was with the Ponte. How do they age? Is their aging more
Mhm.
similar to ours, or is with them
It
not
is
having how is
not having a lot of hair. They have fuzz on
oh,
their
they have
head.
fuzz? Okay,
And but they do, as they age, get lines and wrinkles in their faces, just like we do.
okay,
Skin tends to lose elasticity with age, and so they'll get extra folds a little bit right over the eyes where the eyelids are. By the way, the black lenses that you normally see are their second eyelid. That's a nictitating lens that goes sideways, and we have vestigial nictitating lenses right in the corner of our eyes. They no longer serve a purpose and are not large enough anymore. But the Ponte find our sunlight levels very bright. And so when they go out, you will see them completely cover their eyes with their lenses, like built-in sunglasses. The iris colors underneath are the same as ours, the blues, the greens, the browns. They also have an amber-ish color and a lavender-ish tone. And I don't know if we have those in our population. If we do, they would be very rare and more common in our ET friends. So
yeah,
they have taught us a little bit about protocols for how to invite them. And in fact, once the telepathy manual was published and put out to the world, we had people following those protocols and had lots and lots of questions in common all over. And so we ended up writing a second book, like an addendum to the Ponte's Telepathy 101 manual. And the addendum that we wrote is called Inviting ET, and it's a description of how do you invite them to your home, or how do you invite them to show up wherever you are, whether it's just you by yourself at your house, or whether it's a group of 150 out in a national forest on a hilltop. And so those instructions for CE5, or Close Encounter of the Fifth Kind contact, is what Inviting ET is about. And again, it's a lot of the backstories about what they've shared with us behind the scenes and what we've learned from people all over the planet who have invited them to their homes and received a visit. What did they do that worked? And it includes everything from how do you photograph them when they're cloaked to should you shake their hands? Should you offer them food or drink if you meet them? Should you touch them at all? And are they all extraterrestrial versus interdimensional versus travelers through time? And we have a little bit of all of those things here on Earth. So we
That's a whole new episode just for that right there.
we
For
had
each of them, probably.
yeah, we had a gal from Twitter say, "Has any Earth human ever visited your planet?" And their response floored me. And they came back with, "Which age of man, please? Which age of man?" We are the fourth Earth human age of man that's left our planet and our planet's own atmosphere.
Wow.
Before that, there was a reptilian one. There was a fifth one.
Okay.
But then they had their disaster, and the reptilian age got knocked back and the mammal age began. And so our ancestors have risen to the point of being able to leave our planet's atmosphere and then got knocked back by an Earth reset 4 times now. Or we're the fourth. We're almost 4 times now, but we are the fourth. So we haven't been knocked back yet, but we're on the verge of it, I think.
And that's the change in all the energy that's going on right now.
It is.
That's part of that Earth
There's a
changing to the
whole-
5D.
Yep, that's a whole different show. But
Yeah.
yes, all of those things are coming, and soon, within the next 20 years. Soon.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Wow. Quite amazing. Quite amazing stuff. Oh, we can go on and on and on and on forever, can't we?
it would not be hard. It's
I know.
hardest to contain it within a half an hour time frame.
It is very
But,
hard, yes.
You
Yes.
can find me sharing things about them on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The ones I am most active on would be YouTube and Twitter right now, with Facebook being the third. So,
Okay.
yep, they have a private room on Facebook, Friends of the Sandia Mountain Ponte, and then at Sandia Wisdom on Twitter and YouTube. And then I think it's just my name, Sue Walker 1111 on TikTok, and maybe on Threads and Instagram. So I've got different outlets where people can see images that I've drawn of them, of the Sasquatch. Dana can attest there's more artwork coming out my ears than I even know what to do with.
She's quite the artist now.
All kinds of things.
Yes.
All
and
kinds of fun things.
Yeah. And I had quite a visit with you, and I so enjoyed being there. I didn't want to leave.
Fun.
I didn't want to leave.
Fun.
I was just like,
it went too fast.
oh, way too fast. Always.
Yeah.
Always. And same with this one. But I do want to thank you so much for joining us
very,
and allowing
very
me
welcome.
to visit you back
Oh,
there.
Happy
Yeah.
to do that. Happy to do that. I will leave you with one of the phrases that they say to each other when they part company. It's a phrase of parting goodbyes. And what they say to each other is, instead of "have a good day," wear your day with ease.
Wear your day with ease.
So wear your day with ease, Dana.
Wear your day with ease, Sue.
All right. I'm happy to do that.
All right. Well, we'll catch everybody next time. While you're at it, email lighttalk423@gmail.com if you have any stories to share and want to be a guest on the show. And while you're at it, click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And we'll see
Yay.
everybody next time.
All right.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.